Hey chat, how we doing today? I have on one screen a whole bunch of windows, and unfortunately, a lot of the search results that I've got for typing New Zealand windows is not in fact the windows attached to buildings, it's just background wallpapers for Windows 10. And that's a little bit annoying. Like, why is it that the search engine thinks, oh, New Zealand Windows must mean Windows 10? No, the fuck I didn't. I meant actual outdoor windows, please. Alright, so I'll just pull up this. And you'll see what I'm talking about in just a second here. So, searching up New Zealand Windows is not exactly the way that goes, huh? And I know a good chunk of it's just because of Cathedral Grove and that sort of thing, or I believe it's pronounced Warariki Beach. Regardless, Windows. Stereo. It still provides a whole bunch of Windows 10 images, but it's not nearly as egregious. So I'm thinking this would be a good start, this regular 2 square window. I'm gonna start throwing these into the pure roof actually, make my life just a smidge easier. So this is a pretty easy design to work with. I probably just need to build a frame around it too, because it is going to be more or less stuck on the outside of the building as opposed to being embedded. What else we got? This could be an option as well. Although that's quite a large set of windows. I might use that for if I wanted to give a lot of detail without having to put too much effort in. What else do we have? Because like I'm looking at these images, and again I'm like referring back to particularly Paris and Venice quite a lot. We do have these as well. It's not a bad design. I might stick to that as well. Okay. Start try modeling these ones for a start off. Now I do need to get a reasonable idea of how large I want these windows to be. So add in my 3D cursor here. Probably around about this time. 5, 90. Oh, minus 90. So it's actually attached to the wall. Now, the scale for these windows is how large? I know for like the first couple levels they take up the majority of the space. So like that actually goes from more or less the bottom of the building to like 3/4 of the way up. That's a pretty reasonable distance. Is it consistent though? Not by any means. Like Canada, for example, these buildings here, it's like half the size of the wall, like going top to bottom. Is that the case for Venice? It does seem like it. I think the windows in Venice are quite a smidge smaller, so like these ones are quite small. But these ones here seem to be relatively close to consistent. Same with these ones in the background here. So anywhere between half and 3/4 of the general height of the wall seems to be what we're aiming for here. Oh, that should be easy enough. So, and then I have to take into account the scale, like width-wise of these, because they're quite thin, aren't they? Yeah, Venice is quite the. Paris has slightly thicker ones that do actually extend out this wide. So I'm wondering if I just make a couple of different sizes, perhaps. I can actually scale the windows later. So scale it down like that, and then probably around about that, maybe slightly smaller. Yeah, it seems about okay. I think the real test of this is, can I fit two of these alongside each other? Okay, yeah, that's pretty much the only test that's required to pass here. So, no sizing. And now we can go ahead and do something with this. So, focus on this one specifically. X90. I'll actually do this in layout mode so I can see where I'm going. Alright, cool. So, the first one I'm going to do is just the standard double window here. So I'm going to need to duplicate this inverted like that. There. Oh, almost forgot. Always apply your scale. I'll say probably around about that much for the frame. Slightly. Yeah, it seems fine. I need to actually move these further back just a little bit, just enough. Okay, that's not bad. Now this one here actually has a split, so it's a bit weird. So I'm looking at this, and it does have a little bit of detail where this is indented a slight bit, but I don't think I need that in this particular case. I think the way... Actually, I can actually just do this, right? And then inset that again. Extrude back. So now that's definitely got all the details of the windows. Well, let's give it a quick bit of a shade. So, invert this. 2 slots. So this is assigned to the first slot. And assign this to the second slot. So, black. And while it's not going to be black in the traditional sense, it is going to have roughly similar color. Now this is definitely metallic, and the roughness on this is actually surprisingly matched. I'd say probably 0.55 for this one. And then this one can just use the glass texture. Oh. Okay, not awful. Now I do need to grab this here. Okay, let's rotate. I can do that. So now that should be good. I might want to change this metal color a bit, make it a bit lighter. Okay, that's better. So now we have those windows. That should be easy enough to put, generally speaking. It seems like a lot of the windows, like a lot of the window designs in New Zealand, they seem to be more horizontally inclined rather than vertically inclined. That does make a bit of sense. I can also take inspiration from the windows in the harbour where this is taking place anyway. But the problem with that is that a lot of them seem to be just full sliding glass doors, which is not really helpful in this case. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be helpful here. So maybe a couple of rounded ones as well could do us some good. Get some rounded ones, say from Prague, and I think I said use the Venice ones, right? The one with this one where you're talking to the guard. That might be. Not there, not there. I can use this one, which actually does show more of the windows in general. So we've got some rounded ones, we've got sloped ones, we've got just general square ones. These ones that have lines sticking out, which is probably not a bad idea. Let's give it a swing anyway. So, window. Glass. And I can put this into the collection. So grab that, move it to collection, new collection, and windows. Shift D and hide that. Now this one I probably want to... I think I want to bevel this one. Control Shift B. I think I want to make sure I press C here just to clamp it. Now the only issue with this is the fact that it will create a whole bunch of vertices and whatnot. I'm not too inclined on that, but what can you do? So that is... Oh wait, I do forget I'm supposed to be. Scale, and make sure I apply the scale on this thing too. Can't forget to do that. So now, these do seem to be pretty well rounded, like at the top, so that makes me think... Okay, here's the thing, right? You can see the bevels on this, so it's... I believe that's 3 vert split. So that's 3 verts. I think there was another one around here. Where is it? Like, this is a good photo too. Can't see that one. Might be one of the slide 2 ones I'm thinking of. Yeah, probably. So yeah, like, that's a double split. So... Oh, what did I do? Okay, if you do Control Shift and B, apparently it does something weird. Okay, so that's roughly the window roundness. So maybe I just want to double that. Or at least do as much as I can. Now, problem is, of course, I'm giving off a whole bunch of dots here. But I will fix that in just a moment. Now. Okay, Control Shift A. Okay, I didn't even know that was a thing. Apparently, Control Shift B always sends the pure ref screen to the back of whatever's on the screen. Pretty interesting little feature that has. Now, I do want to try and do something with this. So if I can at the very least join these together. Join those, and that creates that in the middle. Probably can put cuts there and then join these together. And that gives it mostly quads. I can join these two and we should be good. Yeah, it should be fine. Okay, I need to grab all of these. It's supposed to be individual, not like that. If I scale this in the X, it does seem to do some weird stuff, but certainly couldn't be any worse than what I'm currently doing. Now, if I want to make any indentations, I should probably do it once I've finished making the frame. Yeah, that should be good. So, if I'm going to make right, I want to extrude this entire section out. Seems a bit too thick. Oh wait, I can just add objects in. These ones. Zero. Grabbing this entire lot, I can extrude this backwards. Grab that and then shift like normals. Now what I do want to do is grab these. Make sure I grab these sections here too, so I don't mess things up. I'm going to move these all down. Way to around it. Yeah, that seems right. Okay, cool. Should be fine. Let's have a look, see how it works. Actually, I could just grab this one, grab this one. That. That doesn't quite work out the way that I'd hoped it would. That, hide it. And then set that to the second slot. And then by default, I'm going to use the wooden door texture. And then this one here, I'm going to just set it back to the glass one. Okay, that's not too bad, although the windows inside just seems to have a bit more texture than what I'm capable of doing. That's fine. Yeah, the frames for the windows themselves are embedded. In fact, I wonder if it would be better if I made this a slightly darker color. So if I sign this. Nope. Let's see. Wooden. What about wooden plank? Oh wait, of course that's an actual image texture. What am I talking about? Door light. Okay. Not too bad. Does seem to be a little bit of weirdness happening here, but that's whatever. Nothing a little bit of object switching. Like switching to object can't fix. There we go. So this is one class. Move that to the windows. Again. Hide it, and what are we doing this time? I did want to do that 3-window design, so let's go that way. Now I need to split this into 2 along this length, 1 along this length. Now here's the thing with this type of window. There seems to be a lot more wood in between this section here. So you've obviously got a lot of wood around the bottom of the frame, but there's also a fair bit in between each double set of windows. And then the frame up top is actually quite thin. So I'm going to have to adjust this. Now I'm going to start by insetting the entire block first. So I'll just mark the bottom one first. And then 1.15. And try to match this one up relatively similar. Probably around about there. Cool, and now screw that back. Around about there. And now I do need to... Because they're not perfectly square, as you can probably tell from that bit. So these, using the individual origins, I'm going scaling along Y, or the Z rather, so they're a bit thinner. Grab this and stretch this a bit further back. So roughly right about there. Alright, cool. Now these ones are more of a painted white color, which is easy enough to do. Need two slots again. Make sure these ones specifically are the second slot. Use this material, and I'm gonna make this the white. No metallic. The roughness seems to be relatively high, but I do have to question. Does paint inherently come with any sort of metallic or gloss? Because it seems to be just matte white paint. I think the main thing is the brush strokes. Because this is not the sort of thing that you just spray paint, right? Regardless, I will set this to glass. Now for this outer frame. I might dull this color a bit. Just give it something to work with. I'll give this probably around about 7. Now I do want this to have some sort of brush stroke to it. Because otherwise my other option is to make this internal bit metallic and then this external bit wooden, which is actually probably not a bad idea. And give it a swing anyway. Grab these. White and set this to metallic. But then inherently the roughness is quite high. Probably 0.75 is good for this. Because I know the windows around the city well enough to know that that is not entirely made of wood. That's made of a combination of wood and metal. In fact, I have windows quite similar, where the internal and external frames themselves are wood, while the actual framing of the windows is metal in nature. In fact, I'm actually gonna make this a slight eggshell color, if I can. That is. It's probably even a little bit too saturated still. Yeah, that works. So that should be fine. Now, what to do about this frame? Probably brush strokes, right? So, Control T, do that. And grab myself a wave texture for this one, I wonder. So, map to the object. I'd need to make the bands quite thin on this, I think. Let's see. Z probably works the best. The only issue is like this external section here. I wonder if generator would Does not, yeah, it does not seem like it at all. So switches back to object. In fact, would UV be any better? It is not. Try normals. Nope, also no. X. Maybe. But the problem is, like, you're still probably going to see from these 2 points here. I want to surround the entire frame. Also, I do know that this is not required. Have a look at this in this view. Probably don't need these. Actually, on the other hand, that does make it quad, so maybe I do still need those. Unless I join these together directly. But then it just leaves triangles. I think this is probably the best I can do for now in terms of topology. Plus, I mean, like, it's not like anyone's going to be using this outside of me anyway, so what does it matter? What I need to focus on is getting this working. Set to object. We'll just work with this for now. I want the detail to be probably fairly there, but not a huge amount. Probably 5. So 4, detail roughness. There, but not too there. And phase offset is just whatever. It's not what it's here for anyway. It's not here for color, it's here for being a normal map. And then set this to normals. Interesting. Now, why has it done this? Probably need to. I wonder if bump would be the better pick here. Need to plug vector into height. Okay, it somewhat works. And it does look very stone-like. Make the scale a lot thinner. The idea is to give it like a brush-like texture, but it's not working out my favor currently. And then if I swap this to say Y. Okay, my only issue is these here. Which I don't think there's any proper fix for. Okay, definitely don't use normals in this case. Object doesn't work So I guess it just has to be these. Yeah, I'm not really messing with the style as well as I'd like. So I'm going to possibly leave this for now. Otherwise, I could use... Okay, that's an idea, actually. I'm gonna borrow this. And then go to white. Oh, it is empty. How is it empty? Copy. Go. This one. Let's set the scale to be roughly around there, I think. I want to try and keep some texture without going too overboard, though. So maybe about 15, perhaps? Do 15.5. So it has that now. And then this one here. Set this to be all the way there. I'm going to swap these two around. Bit too obvious, but I can work with it. Okay, that's the slight more subtle texture that I would have liked from that. Let back a bit, and yeah. Right, cool. So this is window plus. Move that into the Windows category. Hide that, bring this back. Now I've done, let's see, I've done the double glass, I've done the 6-panel glass, I've done rounded. I could do this one here actually. Like this seems like a really good generic window to have. So duplicate this, hide there, and start messing around this one. So this is pretty easily done. Around about there. Oh wait, I've got set to face instead of edges. Whoopsies. These two. Bevel them. Make sure I get rid of all the cuts. And this slot here. Straighten that out. That's a pretty easy way to make that window. In fact, I might just push this just a little bit. There we go. Nice. 2 slots as usual. Inside the second one glass. And first slot, just use the window material. Or the wooden door material, rather. Alright, nice. We've got yet another window. Now, all these are going to have to be messed about with a little bit later on, but at least with this, I know what I'm getting myself into. So, window, triple glass, and then move this to the Windows category. Nice. Now, I do probably need to get off my... Well, actually, I don't need to make doors. I've already made 3 types of doors already. Something I do need to do is I need to make a frame for these. Because a lot of these doors, at least the ones that are existent in the game, seem to be embedded into frames themselves. Just having a look at some of these images so y'all can see this too. But yeah, Canada, doors in a frame. Where else? Another door, another frame. Is there any visible ones in Paris? Yeah, there's one there that you can barely see it, but there's a frame on either side there. Yeah, this one gets it. There's a frame literally right there. So yeah, point is I'm going to need frames for all these doors. The good thing is I'm pretty sure I can mess about with this. Okay, these are duplicates it seems. So, are these spheres? They shouldn't be. So if I... Yeah, these shouldn't be visible. So these are definitely not spheres. They're just straight up the doors. Sorry, chat. Panel, and then wood door blanks. So make sure I've linked this together. Link object data. Same with all these. Just make sure that they're all linked. And same with these ones. And link these. Now, if I edit this, it should... Yeah, edit it live. Now, make a frame of this. Same way as usual, I suppose, just make a separate object. Let's go right here, actually. Shift S, selected. This isn't. Why is it like this? Actually, a bit annoying. Alright, let's see. Let's try this out. In fact, probably be better if I, set this like that. Maybe around about there. This. highlight objects. Now, what I can do is... Actually, I just need to double check. Are they framed all the way around, or is it just on 3 sides? Candidates, 3 sides. Paris and Venice are both 3 sides. Yeah. I don't need to bottom face yet. Thank you, guys. Down. How wide is that? Doing what's done, but whatever. Please. Hey Foxy, how you doing? I see you're back with the clown emotes. Alright, get rid of those. Got both those, and then I should be able to just bridge edge loops on that. And then fill those in, and we should be good to go. So now if I leave this mode... Yeah, now we've got a door frame. Well, honestly, I'm in an excited mood, I'm not gonna lie. Well, at least one of us is. What's got you so excited, Foxy? Alright, so I can grab that one. I'm gonna scale it just a smidge more. A little bit more? Yeah, there we go. Alright, so Shift D, key, and then separate selection. And now I can move it over to here. And then I can just edit this any way I like, basically. Boyfriend wants me to be with him to assist him moving to the apartment. Oh, cool. I know you've been looking forward to that quite a lot. Is it? Oh, it's doing this crap again. Dang it. Let's try the medium pointer. Yeah, no dice. It still wants to be silly and weird. Oh well, looks like I'm doing this manually. Seems like if yeah, there's a gap here. That looks to be relatively even. And now I can just get this as cool. And now we've got a frame for the store too. All I need to do is just Control P. Actually, no, I can just Control K this one. There we go. Now we've got a frame for this door too. And it just looks so much cleaner like that. Should I show also the apartment is quite big, should I show the pics that he sent me? Yeah, you can do, I just won't show them on stream for obvious safety concerns. Also, I have not had a talk with Nightbot yet, so maybe just be careful about what you decide to put in chat for the time being. I have not had the time to have a chat. Okay, and now make this. And these two. Okay, this one that's perfectly fine. I guess it was just the other one that was a bit weird. So now I can just Control J and it should be right now. Everything should now have a door frame attached to it. I should make the door frame a bit better. So let's start renaming these actually. So this is brown dark door. Light door. What I should be doing is naming these by color. Okay, I'll have a look. Oh wow, that actually does look quite large. And that's just for the two of you? Like shit, that is a lot of room for an apartment. And it's got a garage? Like, are you living in a two-story by chance? Because that is a lot of space if that's just a single floor apartment. Like, that's a huge amount of space. Actually, I should just name this brown instead of dark, because I am going to be doing a darker one for that. Don't believe so? Oh, okay. So it's just straight up a single floor apartment that looks like that, huh? Okay. What the hell is grey brick attached to? Because, oh wait, it's just probably attached to regular bricks. So, grey chain link needs. Make sure that I actually keep the things here. Now, I am gonna make another slot for this. What is... Okay, so this has 3 on it. So what's the third material? Eh? I think it's all 1. If it's all 1, like, that's pretty impressive. Okay, I'm going to assign this. There's going to be so much space and I'm all for it. Honestly, space is the best thing you can get in an apartment besides a pretty good internet signal. So, slot 3. I want to get the brown wooden door. Make a copy of that. Brown dark door. And now I just really bring down the values on this. Okay, that should be fine, I suppose. I'll set this to 0.8 while I'm here. Alright, cool. Now there, and... Ooh, My computer did not like that. I'm so tired of being in this small ass room. Yeah, I feel that on a spiritual level. So slot, brown dark, and then lift that one up. The apartment is like one of those that are built like a house, by the way, which is why there's so much space in a garage. Yeah, that's why I was like, hey, is this like a 2-floor apartment? Because my house is surrounded by those at the moment. So it's just like a single floor miniature house, basically. That used to be the norm here, and then they just started building all these egregiously tall, bloody things that we've got now. Why? Do I want to leave this one as the light? Yeah, I think I might leave this one as the light. In fact, I'm going to swap these 2 slots around. So I'm going to link grab these. Assign those to dark. I'm actually going to assign this one to be white instead. Because I think that just looks cleaner. I'll know for sure when I see it this weekend. Yeah, that's completely understandable. I'm surprised that you don't know more about the house. Although I suppose your boyfriend's the one that's setting this up mostly, no? Only thing though, I'm most likely going to wait to move until after I had the injections. Honestly, that's completely understandable. Because moving into a house takes a lot of energy. You don't really want to be starting injections right on top of that as well. Like, that's really rough. So we got all the doors work. I just need to make sure that all these are picking up correctly. Okay, it actually... I might be wrong, chat. This is actually starting to look vaguely video game-ish. Like, I think I'm starting to get somewhere with this. If only mildly. Reason I don't know more about the apartment is because he only just this week was able to finally see the address and the details of the apartment. Please tell me he's at least gone somewhere to inspect it before you two moved in, because like I've seen some horror stories about people who didn't do like a pre-move-in inspection and got absolutely blasted by some bullshit that the apartment owner just didn't talk about. Like, I know it doesn't happen often, but it happens often enough that I feel the need to ask. I'm gonna... I think I'm gonna quickly just add in a new slot here. And temp... Did I name these temp as well? I think I did. No, I named them placeholder. Place... Bricks. Okay. Placeholder bricks. And image texture, and we're going to add in a brick texture. Because I am going to have these be cobblestone brick type things. And in order to do that, I'm just going to set this up. I want this to be matte. Yeah. Okay. So the scale. Make this fairly large. Give the bias just a little bit more. Trust me, he's the type to know all about that kind of stuff since he's a geek and very intelligent. I mean, I'm glad that you make the distinction that he's a geek and intelligent, because they're not always, are they? I mean, guilty as charged, like throwing rocks in a glass house and all that. You're talking about an IT person? Listen, getting into IT is not that difficult. I have a degree in software engineering, Foxy. It's like, they give this shit away for free. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to forgive me for being just a little smidge skeptical. does this do? Never mind. But yeah, like, I'm glad you two are able to find an apartment that you can live in. Because, like, I can tell that it can be very rough. I was looking at the cost of renting around my general area, and it's like, I want to say somewhere within the realm of $650 to $800 a week, which is absolutely wild. Just ridiculously wild. Okay, I think that's fine enough. This is only a placeholder anyway. I wasn't intending on calling out or anything like that. Yeah, but like, uh, bricks. Oh wow, this one's like a lot thinner, huh? Because the scale's not applied properly. Okay, yeah, the scale on that other one wasn't applied. That's probably who's doing it. Let's scale this up to some. Let's try. Wait, right now. It's like you sort of see where I'm going with this, right? Like there's cobblestone streets / pathways around the sides, and there's going to be green areas. Like I swear I have an idea for this. It's just very slow in panning out. Now, I should probably think about replacing some of these walls with the plaster and metal ones. At the same time, I also want to do more brick walls as well. So I wonder if doing the bricks might be easier. So low poly props, just make sure all that's gone for now. And then I want the where is actually right there. Now I did have where's my walls? I had a grout. I had a grout one somewhere. It is somewhere in here. Where is it? Okay, yeah, that definitely does not need to be in there. Might stick it in the bricks for now. Go ahead and give me a bonk and delete my messages if you want, lol. I'm gonna continue feeling like a guilty dumbass if you don't. I'm not calling you out on anything, Foxy. Like, nothing at all. Now, where is my crouch? It is. Now, I believe for this one, I had this be a darker color, right? What color did I have this? In fact, I can actually figure that out quite easily. I can pull up the brick wall brown. Actually, that is roughly the correct color. Is it because of... Yeah, alright. So these need to be... These lights need to be toned down just a little bit. So these, I think... Okay, the front ones are 300 watts each. So if I go 150 on both of these... Or even 100? I need to link these two together. Control L and object data. So now these should share the same object definition. So that's roughly similar. Is it just me or is the light still on? Maybe I need to change the crowd color down slightly. I can make new images. It's not that. I very well might, but not right this second. I need to figure out what I'm doing here first. Okay, so grout. I'm gonna lower the color of that. Yeah, I think I like that coloring a bit better. Oh, Foxy, I've forgotten to ask. Have you seen that new Roblox egg hunt thing that's coming out soon? I think it's next month. I think it's called The Hatch or something. Which, by the way, sounds like something that's themed completely differently than what it actually is. Because, like, I see the words The Hatch and I think, oh yeah, like the hatch on a submarine or something like that, or like going down to a secret underground spot. And not, for whatever reason, not eggs. Like, for whatever reason, that's not the first thing that came to mind. Trust me, I've seen a lot of videos on it. I've seen that there's been a little bit of controversy. I have seen some mentions of the C word. I don't know if it's a bannable offense for me to say it on YouTube or Twitch, but for those who know, and frankly, I won't be upset if it gets cancelled. Really? Why is that? I know that one person that's been shown to be on the team is a thing. Like, I saw the Creekcraft video on it earlier, but like, was there some other reason that's being like it's not a great thing to have going on at the moment? I think it's really strange that they picked something outside of Easter to finally decide to do another egg hunt. It just feels wrong. So I'm gonna add a new collection. And I'm gonna use these as a just in case I need extras. It was said that it was meant to be an event where you literally just go through a portal in the hubs in the game for a certain amount of time, do absolutely nothing, get the egg free. Okay, that's a bunch of bullshit. Like, surely that's hyperbole, right? Which is the most idiotic thing Roblox could have ever done. I am sure that's hyperbole, surely. Like, they cannot have, from what I've seen, hundreds of developers just have it be so that you only have to send the game for X amount of times to get it. Like, surely that's some bullshit, right? Like, you cannot expect me to believe that they're actually making it so you just sit there and do nothing. Like, if I wanted to sit there and do nothing, I would be playing an idle game. I wonder if I should add extra bricks to the top floor. I might. Yeah, adding extra bricks would probably give this a bit more. Grab this lot here. Nope, because with 1,000 games, what else do you expect? Especially within 10 whole ass days of the event. I'm sorry, did you say 1,000 games? Wait. So you're telling me that in order to complete this event, you have to play literally 1,000 games? Please tell me you're taking the piss, Foxy. I don't blame the higher up game for stepping back. Oh, you're actually being serious. Oh my god, you're actually being serious about this. Yes, 1,000. I thought it was like maybe 1,000 developers would have, which roughly would have equated to like, I would have said probably about 200 games. Which is, don't get me wrong, still an egregious amount of games to play for a singular event. But from what I've seen, like in past events, it's technically doable. But 1,000 games is actually just batshit wild to me. Like, you cannot expect me to believe that there is any sane human being out in the world that has the time and wherewithal to go through literally 1,000 games for what is probably, quite frankly, very mid cosmetics. Like, things like the hunt and that one egg hunt before they completely got rid of it. Like, I don't expect anybody to get every single item. Like, okay, so 1,000 games, yeah, sure, but that implies that there's 1,000, if not more, cosmetic items, which is absolutely not something Roblox would do. So it would either have to be Roblox. There's like three options here, right? So, alright, let me pull out the pen. It's lecture time. So there's three options here, right? So you have you've got these three here. So one, Roblox themselves makes 1,000 plus items. In fact, I'm actually just gonna turn this on. Sorry, chat. So, the first one is Roblox literally made 1,000 plus items for this singular event. The second option is the devs made the items. Which is not always a good thing. Because you've seen some of the quality of the items in UGC. You can see the sorts of things that they allow on the platform. This is a terrible idea. I can't spell terrible, but bear with me. So, like, this is absolutely a horrendous idea. Or three, Roblox only made X amount of items to be spread across all games. So you can have an item, right? And it could be in say like 3 games each item. Which, by the way, is still technically like 300 plus items, which is absolutely wild to me. Or if that's the case and there's multiple games with the same item, then why 1,000 plus games? Why? Why is this a thing? Roblox is absolutely losing their goddamn minds, and it just needs to stop making events altogether, unless they decide to fund the RB Battles team and have them make events. Okay, there's actually a double-edged sword, and this is going to be a really hot take. I don't think Roblox should fund RB Battles. And, like, I know this is a hot take for me to say, but I feel like the quality of RB Battles would be severely diminished if they had to go through Roblox funding, like Roblox's funding process. Because, like, you don't get the same humor, you don't get the same... I don't really want to use this word, but whimsy. Also, this is messing me up. Please stop. There we go. It just doesn't have the same joy and community style of content creation if RB Battles were to be funded by Roblox. I would rather spend hours to no end trying to get the golden accessories than spend any time doing a garbage Roblox event. I've said this before and I'll say it again. 2017 Roblox Egg Hunt was the best Egg Hunt in my opinion. 2018 is really good. but I feel it's inherently been diluted by the fact that it was tied to Ready Player One. Like, I hated the Roblox 2018 Egg Hunt because of Ready Player One. But like going back to it, oh, okay, certainly messed me up there. What have I done? Spears. Bricks needs to be visible. That needs to be invisible. And then give me that one as well. But yeah, I feel like inherently anything that's funded by Roblox nowadays is an absolutely terrible idea. Okay, that's... Oh, I didn't even notice that was a thing. Ew. Okay. Need to fix that. That's fine, though. I can just scale this. And that covers the entire block. I did not realize that was a thing. But no, I think RB Battles being funded by Roblox is an absolutely atrocious idea, especially when you consider how Roblox treats their current events that they themselves make. I think it's absolutely just a bad idea. Like, don't get me wrong, I gave the RB Battles team, I think it was like about 25,000, I think. After I finished the event. And it was just more of a, here's the money, please never make another one of these again. Because, to be honest, I'm getting far too old for this shit. like, I basically hit peak during RPO 1 where I got the Copper Crown of Silver. Because that is actually a rare item as opposed to the other two. Do we have any confirmation on what games are going to be in the event? Because if the what I've seen is to be believed, that one guy is certainly not going to be the only one that's going to cause issues, basically. Image textures. One. Actually, I'm just going to do new. Okay, and then I want to make. So these are the spare ones, which are going to stay in the same configuration. So if I, yeah, that's going to be in the same configuration. And with the grouting, I think that's going to be the same size too. But yeah, I can only imagine how god-awful this event's going to be. What I meant by that was Roblox giving them the money and saying, take this and go ham on making a great event that will keep people playing Roblox and want more events. You would think that's the way it goes. But if you know a single solitary thing about bureaucracy, you know for a fact that is not the way that turns out. You need to remember that this is the same company who, during said RB Battles event, was sponsoring Shavetopia. Like, I do not hold a whole lot of hope for what they'll be able to provide RB Battles, you know? Yes, yes, I know, lol. I mean, like, we've all seen the RB Battles in a nutshell video. Oh, I should probably do that before it decides to shite itself. But yeah, I feel like RB Battles getting funding from Roblox is a very monkey's paw type of situation, you know? Actually, I don't really want there to be bricks sticking out like that. Okay, this should be sufficient. Alright, cool. That should be good. And now I can hit 12 on this again. And now we have a secondary texture, which would give us 4 sets of bricks to work with, more or less. And if I really wanted to stretch out the use case of these further, I can actually reverse them by inverting the scale in the texture node. So that would give me 2, 4, roughly 8 different variations I can work with. So 8 different variations across 2 different colors should be more than enough for what I'm doing. But yeah, it's more of a be careful what you wish for, because it really could just blow up in your face. Like, the only thing, and I know this is ridiculously specific, I wouldn't mind the Roblox event if it means that the devs from Robloxian High School actually get off their ass and put out a new update. Because, for all intents and purposes, Robloxian High School, despite being, a high school RPG game, they actually put a pretty reasonable amount of effort behind the events that they do, which I can definitely appreciate. Okay, now what I can do is move this back to position. There we go. And it's like nothing ever happened at all. So go back to shape space. Be right back. I'm gonna get cake. That'd be fair enough. Now, try and color match them. Wait, crap! I almost forgot to. I need to save this. Brick brown. Now I should have both those. Yeah, those are in different positions, good to know. And now I can open up this brick wall array. I can try color matching this as best as I can. So this is just, looks to be an average white to dark gray scale. So I need to set 0 on this. That. Just make my life a bit easier, and then this. Stop to the left. Now I can start. It doesn't matter if I accidentally move these, because I can just shift across. Now let's see how it looks like. Alright, not quite what I wanted. Oh, right, I need to plug the random in here too. Okay, that's closer. Just need to set the color of this a bit better. So, copy that, paste that. This one. This and paste this one. Okay, yeah, that's relatively close to what I had before. I mean, it's probably a bit on the bright side, but what can you do? Now, if I plunk this down. Now this should be relatively close. Yeah, that's... It's not identical, but it's as close as I'm gonna get. But yeah, I feel like Roblox has the reverse Midas touch. Anything they touch turns to shit. So it could cause some serious problems if they tried to fund anything made within the community. Good idea in theory, in practice could cause disastrous consequences. Let's take 1 second, that's fine. I swear to God, I'm literally the only one eating this cake. What kind of cake is it? Right, let's see. Save as. Cool, and now I can grab these and start messing about with them. So, like this, go upwards. Oh, accidentally grabbed the camera, which is not what I wanted. Down, so it's relatively close. That and oh, didn't need to hide it. It's around here fine. Go down a little bit further. Alright, that should be good. And now I can just make another render of this. It'd be really cool if we could see something like Block Tales, like, you know, something a little bit more new and upcoming, making an event type thing. I think that'd be really cool. Like, there's a little bit of a weird discrepancy when it comes to any type of Roblox event. And I think that one specifically is just with the inherent usage of Arsenal specifically. So the thing with Arsenal, right, is like everyone looks at Arsenal and they're like, oh god, it's Arsenal. But there has never been a time where Arsenal has made a bad event. Like any type of bad event story thing. Like, I don't know how, but they keep putting out banger after banger when it comes to events. Like the Final Fantasy style, like JRPG thing, like that was really impressive, especially considering it comes from a game where you shoot people. So, I suppose just like, don't throw judgment before you see what happens. Like, don't judge a book by its cover, I suppose the actual saying is. Yeah, but like, I've never encountered, like, even RPO, I don't think there was ever an instance where that particular event was bad. Like, I legitimately don't think it's ever been bad. Now, the question is, can I make a randomized texture image? Probably not, right? Like, there is a way to do this, actually. So, brick wall, grey. I'm gonna make a couple instances of these. And you'll see what I'm doing in just a moment. So, I need to make a copy of this. I'll make brick wall grey. Let's go brick wall grey 1. I'm actually gonna make this inverted. And then brick wall grey 1. couldn't respond because first the hotspot died, and when I tried to briefly switch to home internet to respond, the damn PC freezes, and now is black screen. Honestly, my streams are probably just straight up cursed, I'll be honest with Foxy. But there's no way that they aren't. So grab that. Go all the way down. I swear to God, technology hates me. Move. Just straight up move. Now, the funny thing I can do is I can go... Where is it? Select. There should be an option to select random. Okay, no, that was not the one that I wanted. What I want is something called checker deselect. Is that only available in edit mode? Seems like it. That's really strange. Why isn't checker deselect a thing in... Yeah, that's really annoying, actually. What I was going to do is I was going to check a deselect and then switch whatever I still had to the inverted brick wall texture. But it doesn't seem that it wants to do that. I'll just quickly check. Check I could have sworn there was a check deselect. Yeah, it's edit mode exclusive. That is so strange. Anyway, to answer your question, it's a type of strawberry cake. It has a whipped topping icing and strawberries on top. Okay, that sounds really delicious, actually. Yeah, that's so strange how it doesn't have that ability, but that's fine, I suppose. Anyway, I can make this a single user now, just to prove the point. So what I can do here, right, is I can grab the scale here, I can set this to -1, and it's now flipped. So now we've got two different brick textures here. And that's essentially the same as flipping the object upside down, except I don't have to flip the object upside down. So the only issue is, like, I need to randomly select some of these just to be able to switch out the textures. But I can probably do that in my off time. Like, it's not the end of the earth. And same with this one here. So this texture here. Actually, I'll switch these to the new textures. So open image and grade 1. Same with this one. Yeah, so now they're all consistent. And this one here, I can separate the object from data, and then make a new one based on this, so in fact, I'm not even going to bother with the new at the top. Brown brick wall 1 inverted and brown brick wall 1. And now, if I do that, there we go. Now we've got this going on. I do need to change the texture of this though. And then I can make that be the same. And there we go. Now we've got something just a little bit more consistent. It's good, yeah, but I just can't eat any more of it after this. Me being the only one to eat a lot of the stuff my mum makes just is starting to take a toll on my body. If I could share some with you, I would. I mean, like, as much as I appreciate it, I am still technically on a diet, Foxy. I'm not gonna lie. As much as I would love to partake in some cake. Okay, that's not too bad. I do need to give some consideration to making roofs, because I've been procrastinating the shit out of that too. Whoopsies. What else can I do here? I should probably... I probably need to make some concrete pillars too, if only just to do this. I will need to do that at some point. Now, this long section here, do I want to make these metal? Possibly. Or actually, maybe concrete's better for warehouses. I know I can't really pull up warehouse on DuckDuckGo without it being an issue, because that is also the same name as a company in this country, which is literally just called The Warehouse. So warehouses generally teleconstruction, yeah? Well, some of them do seem to have plastic materials. And it seems to be a toss-up between metal, concrete, and having a mom that's a baker is both a blessing and a curse. Do you want to hear a funny story, chat? Okay, so this is about my own mother's cooking, and this is why I cannot relate to this specific one. So, Christmas cake, right? And I swear I'm going somewhere with this. So, Christmas cake tends to be, I wouldn't say hard necessarily, but like fruit cake is chewy, to be more specific. But my mother somehow managed to make a fruit cake that was physically essentially the same as trying to chew a brick. Like, you bite into it and it's basically just rock hard. It's so bad, right? That I have a black Labrador, and anyone who has ever come into contact with a black lab knows that they want one thing and one thing only, and that is food. It is so bad that my own black lab refused to eat said fruitcake. That's how bad it was. That thing is basically a physical weapon you could chuck at somebody's head and probably knock them out cold. Like, that is not a brick, that is a weapon. Like, that is not a food item, that is a weapon. That is a brick that you can throw at somebody. I wish I was joking. I'm gonna start... Okay, I'm not gonna make any roofs today, I don't think, but I'm gonna start thinking about blocking them out. So, I'm going to make a plane, I think, would probably be sufficient here. That's quite funny, yeah. Alright, I can... The easiest way for me to do this is probably just to scale it up as much as possible. And then use edit mode to just snap the points to wherever I need them to be. It's the quickest way to do this, at least. So that is this one specifically. And now this one as well. Actually, I should probably make these. I don't feel bad for your mom though. She certainly gave it her best. Okay, here's the thing, right, Foxy, and for the rest of the chat. So none of y'all have the illusion that she was a good person. She would deliberately... You do feel bad? Okay, don't. Because this was deliberate. Like, she would deliberately ruin recipes so nobody ever asked her to cook anything. And it was so prevalent, right? And, okay, here's a bit of cyclonic lore. Do you know that I'm actually poison resistant? Do you want to guess as to why I am poison resistant? Now my message makes me sound like a dick. Honestly, it's valid because there was a time where she was so deliberately trying to avoid cooking anything, she fed me rotted food. Not a joke. Oh. Like, she... Okay, I'm gonna just quickly hash out the story because there's probably a lot of you who haven't heard it. So, there was a time where my mother decided that she was going to make, I believe it was deviled sausages. So what she did was she found an old can of deviled sausage sauce that was in the cupboard. I'd like to point out that at this point, the time that she found it and decided to make it, I would like to say that this thing is probably about 10, if not more, years old. The sauce itself was like 10 years old. So she made it, and she basically forced me to eat it. Like, she basically guilt tripped me into eating rotted food. And honestly, were it not for my cast iron stomach, I would have been absolutely screwed beyond all belief. Like, it was bad. So, just make sure I duplicate all these. So yeah, the whole fruitcake being a brick thing was definitely on purpose, is my point. Like, you need to realize, chat, there is a lot of fucked up cyclonic lore none of y'all are privy to, and it's actually probably for the best. Like, there are some things that I could say that would make people want to adopt me, which, by the way, is not possible because I'm a legal adult, but that would certainly not stop some people from trying. I'm gonna set this up like this. And I'm basically just gonna start hashing out what heights I want all these buildings to be at. I love how I continue on with this as though I didn't just drop the most batshit insane thing somebody's heard today. Which, by the way, I probably should apologize for just suddenly dropping that on chat, but honestly, I'm not capable of mincing my words. Like, some things are just terrible for the reason that people just don't give a shit. Oh, I accidentally had some stuff here. Oh, I hope I haven't been duplicating the bricks too much. In fact, I'm actually going to hide those before I make a mistake and destroy my computer. So get rid of that and hide the bricks. Hide the camera stuff. Now I can get those. 80. I forgot to make duplicates of these as well. trying to use this one using the closest vertex. Start this round. Okay, so that should be in the correct position. Yeah, now we've got a 2-floor building. I might need to make some of them 3 floors, perhaps. I'll have to see how things go. But I can certainly make double-floored everything if I so desire. So, this one, I think I might just GZ and then 4. That. D, and then 4. Oh, accidentally forgot to grab that one. Well, anyway, I got my PC back on, but it was probably not the best way of doing it. What did you do, Foxy? Okay, and medium point, D, and 4. Okay, Z. Yeah, it seems like a good lot of these are actually just straight up either like double floor, or they're like half single floor, half double floor. It's like, you look at this one here, right? And you see, oh yeah, that's a double. That's also a double. Like, there's so many of these. Like, that's a double there, that's a double there, that's a single. But like, you look at some of them, they're like right next to the bridge, and that technically classes as double. Oh, you know, the classic, hold down the power button until it shuts off. Ah yes, the good old suffocation technique. Truly a classic. Yeah, like those, they're a double. That's technically a double, but that's, for all intents and purposes, a single, considering the fact that we're on a bridge pathway here. Actually, what I could do is I could make some sidewalk type thing for the roads. In fact, I might do that while I'm here. Just move that pure ref out of the way. Just make a save here, and all of that selected. Can inset that. Get rid of boundary. Oh. Is this not... Okay, there we go. I guess the scale wasn't applied correctly. So how big should I make the sidewalk? So I'm looking at this, and it has to be relatively consistent, right? Actually, what I can do... I have character size comps, right? Just need to find out where the hell it is. There it is. So, there, and face. So using this, I can get a rough size as to how big I want these sidewalks. So I probably want them to be around about here, maybe? Maybe even around back here. I want to extrude these. Not too much, but just enough. Let's say 0.25. Because I know somebody was talking about it last stream where I just straight up didn't have the road working properly. Like, it was just entirely road and not any sidewalks. So I'm just going to fix that while I'm here. So, Control Plus, make sure I haven't picked up anything that I shouldn't have, which looks like I've got everything correct. And then duplicate. Placeholder road. Placeholder road 2. I'm going to make this a lighter grey. So, where's the... Oh, dang it, I forgot to make a duplicate. Placeholder road 1. Make sure this is the original one. And then placeholder road 1. Make sure this is brighter. And assign that. And now we should be, yeah, more or less ready to go. I'm going to make these, like, probably cobblestone or bricks of some variety. But having an actual road to work with is always a great start. Okay, it's looking a little bit more like a city now. Oh yeah, I wanted to make the safe house too tall, didn't I? Need to grab these. Alt D, Z, 1, actually 4. I want to grab all of these. And I want to make this probably brick. And use the red brick. Let's use this one over here. So now, if I use Control L on this... oh, okay. Something has gone severely wrong here. Okay, there we go. Alt S does fix the problem. Neat. And then I probably want to have the roof here as well. So this. Now, I can just grab each of these and just move them to the appropriate position. Alright, I need to turn this to vertex. Go. Hey, nice. Now we've got something somewhat resembling a safe house. Because it's the only one that has concrete anyway. But yeah, I'd need to make like a hole in here for the van. I'd need to make stairs going up into the building. Probably need some pipes and whatnot as well. But that's all I have for today, so I can do that some other time. Huh, didn't realize someone bought my dragon before I got kicked. Well, now. Well, hey, at least you managed to get it sold, right, Foxy? I mean, like, there was a pretty good chance that it could have corrupted if you hadn't sold it in time. Actually, what does happen if you don't sell it and you get kicked from the game? Does it go back to your inventory, or does it stay in limbo? Like, what the hell happens there? Anyway, time to end the stream off. Do I have anyone to raid? Okay, I know for a fact that one definitely doesn't have raids on. Yes, it stays in inventory. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I guess that's where I'm going to leave off. Continue this tomorrow, probably doing some more, like, building construction, just making sure the scales are all good before I start building roofs and whatnot. I shall see y'all tomorrow.